Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure review. Today we are going to jump into the time machine and travel way back to the early 2000s as we showcase this. From DC Direct, we are featuring the Kingdom Come Armored Wonder Woman, the collector action figure. Okay, so maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, I was attending the Kane County Toy Show, which is a huge toy show in the Chicagoland area. It's actually one of the better known toy shows in the country. While I was there, I came across this lot of DC action figures, and this was one of the figures I bought. I got this dirt cheap. I want to say maybe for like $10, and it was something I've been wanting since this figure came out in the early 2000s. If you're unfamiliar with Kingdom Come, it's probably one of the most revered DC graphic novel stories ever, written by Mark Waid and illustrated by Alex Ross. It was a miniseries that really took the comic book world by storm in the late 90s. The artwork was stunning. Alex Ross is one of the most prolific and iconic illustrators ever in the comic book world, and he really brought to life, all the iconic DC superheroes and villains. And Mark Waid threw them into a very dystopian future, and the result was this incredible story. And like I said, it was such a big deal that DC, they kind of felt the need to produce a line of action figures dedicated to it. What we have here is Wonder Woman in her armored costume that we see towards the end of the story. Beautiful box art. You have a nice large package here, and in the back you kind of have the giant group shot. Alex Ross produced a number of these kind of images for marketing and for the covers. On the side, kind of like a synopsis of Kingdom Come and some of the characters, like Magog. And then on the back, direct from the pages of artist Alex Ross and writer Mark Waid's best-selling graphic novel Kingdom Come. You had Wave 1 featuring Superman, Wonder Woman, Hawkman, Green Lantern. Wave 2 featured Batman, Shazam, Red Robin, Kid Flash. Wave 3 had Deadman, The Flash, Magog, and Armored Wonder Woman. If you're a toy collector in this day and age, you might be familiar with McFarlane Toys' take on some of these characters. For example, some months ago they released the Kingdom Come version of Batman, which is a pretty neat figure. And I'm assuming that down the road they're probably going to give us more of these characters. On the opposite side, we have a nice close-up of the Wonder Woman action figure. And if this costume kind of looks, a little bit familiar, I kind of think that some of the, one of the inspirations for Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman 84 costume toward the end of the movie was inspired by this costume right here. And let's get started. So if you're a younger collector, this style of toy might be kind of weird to you. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, collectors, we weren't so much about articulation as we were more so about sculpting and detail. During the mid 90s, McFarlane Toys produced a line of Spawn action figures, which kind of turned the toy industry on its head. And then a lot of companies like Toy Biz felt the need to kind of step up their game. And then you had other companies like DC Direct that were producing their own line of premium action figures and collectibles. And this figure is a great example of that. So due to the age of this action figure and just also because of the nature of it, we're going to leave it as is in the card and on the plastic tray. Just because these figures, even though they do feature maybe about 5 points of articulation, they're more like mini statues. So removing it from the tray and trying to show its articulation is kind of pointless, because even though there's cuts at the arm, the neck, and the legs, it's not really meant to be posed, as more so just displayed as is. So we have the armored Wonder Woman as seen in Kingdom Come. For her accessories, she comes with this beautiful shield and also her spear. The costume's kind of cool. It's very Hawkman-like. Kind of has the the Hawkman-like helm over Diana's head. She has the gold wings, the lasso of truth. She has a scabbard with a sword, and the sword does not come out of the scabbard. And of course, she's, donning her colors and the American flag draped kind of like over her shoulder. It's a beautiful figure, and size-wise, you're looking at something that's roughly around the 6-inch scale. For example, here's a Marvel Legends Vulcan to give you the comparison of the size. So it's kind of roughly within that 6-inch world. Here's a Mattel Movie Masters Christian Bale Batman. Slightly smaller than the DC Direct figure. And then if you're curious about how it scales next to a McFarlane, here's the McFarlane designed Batman. You're looking at a figure here which is roughly 7.5 inches. And it just towers over the smaller DC Direct figure. So during this time period, a lot of us collectors, we were more so about these mini-like statues. McFarlane was producing a whole slew of them. DC Direct was as well. They're great display pieces. This was something that if you had like a nice den or man cave, you could display this easily next to your shelf of like graphic novels and kind of use it as a bookend. The quality and craftsmanship is really nice. The only downside with these kind of toys is that the quality control wasn't always the greatest. Sometimes some of the DC Direct figures were kind of fragile and they'd easily break at the joints. But these are really meant more so to be like this displayed, not really handled and to be played with. But it's a beautiful piece. If you're a fan of Wonder Woman, I think this is something that's worth picking up if you can find it for an affordable price. Like I said, I found this at a toy show for about maybe like anywhere between, I don't know, $10 or $12. And at the time, I believe this was probably retailed for maybe like $20 back in the day, if I remember correctly. But this is a nice figure. This kind of predated the DC Classics, I believe. And it's nice. It's a really nice piece. All right, so let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.